Hello, welcome to Miss Peepers Reading Corner. I'm Katrina, aka Miss Peepers. Let's talk about books. Today we're doing a tag. It's the Honest Booktuber Tag. I was tagged in this by Kelly over at Books I'm Not Reading. Thank you, Kelly. And the tag was created by Harriet Rose. I will link both of those channels down below for you to check out. Please do. They're both lovely. And it's a set of questions, so let's get into it. The first question is, have you ever lied about reading a book? And I cannot think of a time that I've lied outright about reading a book. There definitely were times, especially in college, when I didn't finish the book, but I still wrote the essay or did what I needed to do. I think that's just out of necessity more than anything else. I've probably also nodded along to a conversation, not saying I read the book, but also not saying I didn't read the book, if you know what I mean. But no, it seems weird to me to lie outright and say, yes, I totally read this when you didn't. I mean, who really cares? I don't really see the point in that. Prompt 2, have you ever avoided a book because of controversy around either the author or the book itself? Yeah, I have actually. I have not read anything by T.J. Klune yet because of The House on the Cerulean Sea romanticizes a dark time in Canada's history, and you can certainly look up what happened there. I don't talk about certain authors or books on this channel like J.K. Rowling. I'm really glad I read A Little Life before I had a Booktube channel, so I don't have to think about how to navigate that really complicated conversation. So yeah, I've definitely avoided certain topics or avoid certain books. Not because I'm afraid of controversy necessarily, but I do want to make sure that if I do address those topics, that I'm doing so in a really thoughtful and educated way and not just spouting off. Now, that said, I'm sure that I have praised a book or an author that someone else found problematic, which is of course not my intent. I try to educate myself as best I can, but there's so much information out in the world. So if you're watching any of my videos and I do that, please know that it's not intentional, and you can let me know, politely, please, but you can let me know that there was an aspect of that that I was not aware of. But I don't think anyone can cover everything. So we're all just people here doing our best. Prompt number 3, have you ever been sent a book for free and not disclosed it? I am too small a channel to get free books from authors or publishers asking for a review, so that situation has not come up, and I would disclose that. I don't, and same thing if I were to get sponsorships at any point, I would be really clear about, yes, this is an advertisement. Yes, I was sent a free version of this product. Yes, I'm being paid to endorse it. I would do my best to only choose products that I actually would tell you about if, or tell someone about. But I think it's really important, especially with social media. There are so many people who are selling things but don't seem to be selling things. I think that honesty is really critical there. And it's another reminder too, that if someone is really praising something, whether they're being paid to praise it or not, or paid to review, paid for an honest review or not, everyone has bias. So when you're hearing someone's opinion, it's just that, it's an opinion. That said, I mean, I certainly don't call out every book that I'm gifted by friends or family. That I don't feel like that's a lie. I will say, since we're here, that while I have purchased a lot of these books that I have here or that I have on my shelves, I've also been gifted quite a few by friends and family who are generous and know that really all I want is books, whiskey, that's all we need. Have you ever bought a book with no intention of reading it? No, that seems silly to me. I have definitely bought books and then later not read them. That's happened. Or later decided, you know what, actually I'm never going to read this. But at the time of the actual purchasing, it's a book that I intended to read. Now I'm reading this question as bought a book for myself. Obviously, if I buy a book for somebody else, that may or may not be a book that I personally would choose to read, but or that I have read at some point. But no, I don't buy a book for my collection. Everything in my collection is something that I intend to read someday. It may not be tomorrow. It may not be next week, but I will read it at some point. That's my intent. Number 5, have you ever gotten caught up in booktube drama? Not yet. Number 6, have you ever had a hate comment and did you respond? Again, I'm a very small channel here still, so I've been very fortunate. I have not gotten any actual hate comments. I haven't gotten any trolls yet, I'm sure. I know it comes with the territory if you are, as your channel grows, as you are visible to more and more people that you have no connection to, that's going to happen. The closest thing that I've ever come, and this isn't even a hate comment, but in my video that I made about why I think people aren't reading anymore, someone did post in all caps, "because it's not fun." And I thought that was hilarious, quite frankly. And I did respond and I did say, well, I'm sorry you don't find reading fun, but thanks for watching anyway. Number 7, have you ever made a video just because you knew it would get views? I think about views, but I don't think I've ever made anything just for the views. I've certainly made things that I expect to get more views. Like, candidly, I did the newbie booktuber tag, partly because it was a good introduction to my channel, but also partly because I know that people look at those and people search that tag periodically. So I'm not going to say I'm like immune to the lore of the algorithm, but I definitely, my goal on this channel is to make content that I enjoy making because it is a hobby. And I don't, because I'm not reliant on income from this channel, I'm very fortunate in that way. I do have a day job that pays all the bills. So should I ever be able to monetize this channel, that would be extra. And we'll probably go straight into books, to be perfectly honest. But so I don't need to like optimize every single video, fortunately. That sounds exhausting to me, and like, for those who do it and for those who have to do it because like that is how they make their living, more power to you that you've figured out that that calculation, because there's a lot that goes into that. Yeah, I think I answered the question. Not just for views, but I've certainly done certain things that I think will bump up the views a little bit. Question 8, if you could go back to the beginning of your channel, what would you do differently? I'd probably start sooner. I'm still in my first year on Booktube, so I'm certain that I'm making a ton of mistakes. I probably one day will watch this video and be like, what were you doing? If I do that, maybe I'll try to come up with a reaction video like a year or 2 years or 3 years from now, if I'm still here. But I would start sooner. I was so afraid to like get out there and do the first video, and I felt like I wouldn't know what I was doing, that I wouldn't be able to figure out how to edit, I wouldn't be able to figure out how to film. And like, quite frankly, there are so many free resources out there that you can figure out. You can figure out pretty much anything. I mean, YouTube, you're on YouTube, you're watching this on YouTube right now. It's not just a place to hear about books, it's also a place to learn how to do stuff. Look, I'm not perfect. We're gradually building out our setup here and learning about all that stuff. I definitely am not gonna sit here and say that, I've got it all figured out. I still don't know what I'm doing, but I try to give the impression that I have some idea. So hopefully that's working. I think when you finally do something, it's because that is the time that you're ready to do it. I wish I'd been ready sooner, but what are you gonna do? So this is my message to you, if you need someone to tell you, if you are putting off starting something scary just because it's scary or because it's new, do it. Just do it. And you may regret it. I can't say you definitely won't, but at least you'll know. And that's a nice start. So definitely try that thing you want to try. Do it. Number 9, are there any channels you would like to be more like? Yeah, there are lots of channels that come across as more polished or have snazzier editing or, fancier setups and all that kind of thing. I won't say there's like one specific channel or even just a couple specific channels that I want to be more like, just because each one, like, your personality shines through on your video. And so, but the one thing that I do kind of envy, and I'm working on it and I'm practicing, is the ability to speak for a long time and not have to like cut things out because you said the same sentence 6 times and then took the first one. I do cut out a lot of my filler words. I do have times in editing, and I'm sure everybody does, right? But I do have moments in editing where I'm just like sitting there thinking, trying to figure out what I'm gonna say next. What was I gonna say? What was the next thing? Lost my train of thought. Have to start over. And I'm sure everybody experiences that, but I observe that some videos have more cuts or more jumps than others. So I'd like to be one that has fewer. We'll get there. We'll get there. Number 10, what's something you love about your channel? This is such a fun question. I love that I'm enjoying making these videos. I love that it's fun. I really was not sure that I was going to really get into it like I have, and having just the ability to make a video, edit it, put it out there, and people are actually watching. Not a lot of people, but I've got people. People are actually watching, and like I'm interacting with other booktubers, which has been really fun. I'm being tagged in videos for tags. I love it. And so yeah, I love that I'm having fun with it, and I love that I have a space to talk about the things that I'm reading and just share this thing that I've always loved doing with a bunch of people. And of course, the last thing is tag someone. I believe this tag's been out there for a while, and perfectly candidly, I have not had the chance to dig through and see, you know, of the people that I might tag who actually has done it and who hasn't. So instead, we're gonna say, consider yourself tagged if you're watching this. If you are watching and don't have a channel and you want to answer any of these questions in the comments, I'd love to hear your responses. And we're gonna do one more thing before we break. This is not tag specific. I'm filming this at the end of July. So we need to open our August mysterious book. So as a reminder, I went to a used bookstore at the beginning of the year and got the stack of 12 wrapped up mysterious books. They've been all over the place. I found some really good books in here. Found one or two that I, don't love too much, but that's okay. This is all about picking something random and seeing if you like it. So we'll open the book for August. In the interest of full disclosure, the last 2 books, The Known World and Lioness, that's not right. The last 2 books that I opened, I have not finished reading, so this will go on the stack, but I am now focusing on reading down the stack of books that I have started. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, let's see what we have for August. All right, we have The Good Earth by Pearl S. Buck. And that is not supposed to be on the cover, but that's okay. That's the risk of getting the used book. Sometimes they get a little banged up. But this seems to be in good condition though. This looks like an older edition. Older meaning like a few decades older, in that it's got the yellowing pages. I don't think I have ever read Pearl S. Buck before. I've definitely heard of her. This is the classic novel of pre-revolutionary China. Let's see here. In The Good Earth, Buck presents a graphic view of China when the last emperor reigned, and vast political and social upheavals of the 20th century were but distant rumblings for ordinary people. This moving classic story of the honest farmer Wang Lung and his selfless wife Olan is must-reading for those who would fully appreciate the sweeping changes that have occurred in the lives of the Chinese people during the century. All right. Okay, and this book won a Pulitzer as well. Nice. Okay, and Oprah's Book Club, which apparently they're prouder of, which is kind of weird. This is an actual real sticker. I will decide whether I'm going to try to take that sticker off. I kind of like the tactile sensation, but you would think that they would prioritize the Pulitzer over Oprah's book club, but who knows? This is exciting. Like I said, I've never read Pearl's book. It's a Pulitzer winner, so that's, you know, a good sign. This is an interesting topic. I do not know as much about China as I probably should, so this will help. All right, well, let me know if you read this and what you thought of it. I promise I will get to it. My hope is that I can do some catching up on my mysterious books, because I've gotten off track, but I'm also very much a mood reader, and so I kind of go all over the place. But I promise I will at least try to read all of these. I may DNF a couple. I've already DNF'd one. That could happen. But I will certainly try all of these this year, and I will report back. All right, well, let me know your thoughts on any of these questions or on this book in the comments, and either way, I will see you in the next one.